So I don't even have in the slightest idea what I'm going to talk about right now, but I do have one concept in my mind that I heard another spiritual teacher say, and his name is Matt Kahn. You can go watch his videos on YouTube, it's very funny. But he was speaking about the flaw of attraction. Clever, isn't it? Like the law of attraction, but the flaw that we don't see in it at the start. Yes, people teach us on YouTube and through The Secret that you can just think about these things and it will instantly manifest, and we know that that's not true. It's not the way that it works, and that's because we're missing one big aspect of the law of attraction, and that's the spiritual nature behind it. We have to have actions in accordance with that spiritual nature for these things to manifest. There will come a time in the future when I'm certain that we'll just be able to manifest instantly with our consciousness, but right now that time isn't here. And at the start of the journey that we go through a spiritual awakening, your first task is to surrender, to let go of the pain, to really choose to be in this moment, even though this moment isn't really what you want, so that we relax into this state of being. And the more and more we do this, the more and more our mind becomes much more equanimous, much more stable, much less fluctuations are happening. We begin to grow, because really this state of being, or what we might call a meditative state, or this feeling that we have inside, our inner body feeling, is a life-changing feeling. It's like us bowing down. If we ever do any meditation, or if you do the breathing practice down below, you'll notice we're basically offering, we're nourishing ourselves with our own energy inside. We're offering an inner bow to that inner energy, and we're surrendering to that feeling inside, even while the external world isn't the way we want it, for example. And this is the flaw of attraction. People teach you in the law of attraction that you can have whatever you want, but you can't have whatever you want. That's not what the spiritual journey's for. You can, there are things on the journey that will make you supremely happy. Trust me, and you will, in essence, get what you want, but it will be different than what you think. Your mind has no idea where this is going. Mine didn't. However, you can get clues from your experiences that you're going through, what you might be doing. For example, for me, I was brought up spiritually, I was brought up, I suppose, by my teacher, and a couple of teachers actually. One taught me things through the internet and guided me through the process of me healing myself through one-to-one calls, using his intuition and feeling into me and my senses. And that was a clue that I'd then be doing that, because you learn from your teachers, don't you? And now I do that, hence the one-to-one calls that I offer down below. They're great if you're stuck. You know, if you don't know where you're going, if you're really scared of potholes along the way, I'm really enjoying that. I'm meeting some genuinely fantastic people as well doing that. I never knew there were so many people like me. And of course, I'm usually, well, everyone that I speak to, I'm a little bit further on the journey then, not outrageously further, maybe a couple of years in front, so I can help. If you're stuck and if you want to engage in some one-on-one coaching down below, you're more than welcome to. As an application form, it's surprisingly affordable. But back to the video. The flaw of attraction is this idea that you can instantly manifest with your mind, because we're not ready yet. We're not ready for that. Especially, think about it, come on. You know, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, there's a lot of darkness you have to work out inside of you. And whilst you're working out that darkness, you're getting negative manifestations as a reflection of that darkness inside, right? You can't be manifesting good things with your mind with this darkness inside, this heavy load that you're carrying. And that's really the flaw of attraction, which is why we do sadhana. Again, link down below for the free breathing practice. You have to sign up, but it's free. But it's a start to some sadhana. It won't do all the work, but sadhana means spiritual, like a daily spiritual practice. And this is the flaw of the law of attraction. Sorry, the flaw of attraction. It's just a clever term, I love it. And that is that it doesn't allow for this spiritual aspect. Self-help, spirituality, these are the keys to unlock the life that you dream of. Law of attraction without spiritual ethics or a spiritual background or any spiritual changes in your life just won't work. Now, some people might argue with me and say, oh no, Jamie, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. But this is just from my experience. I've tried law of attraction without having the spiritual aspect to it, and it doesn't work. You might disagree with me, it might be working for you. And if it is, let me know down below. I'm really happy for you, fantastic. But I have never spoken to anybody really, unless it's, you know, potluck, or unless they were born to have this life, because one of their themes that they've come into play is just serious, just a very blessed life. And we know these people. For example, I keep watching, I don't know if any of you watch much YouTube, but I keep watching this guy called David Dobrik and his vlogs, and he seems to be very blessed. No spiritual background, but very blessed, like the law of attraction is working for him, and he begins to understand this innately. But for some of us, we don't have that journey. We have this journey of healing and grounding this spiritual energy, this feeling energy inside of us. So that's the law of attraction. And as we do more spiritual practice, we do get the opportunity to almost instantly manifest with our minds. For example, I would say, for small things, like if I need something, or if I just, you know, I really want this flavour packet of crisps, for example, or I just have this image of this really cool ice cream, this Ben & Jerry's ice cream that I want. Sorry, I'm not vegan. Mainly vegetarian, but not vegan. Sorry guys if you're out there. But I do like Ben & Jerry's ice cream. For example, I might think of it in my mind, and then later on, the next day or something, my mum might come round with the shopping and say, you know, here's this, and I'd be like, I asked for that. That sort of manifestation will start happening. For bigger things, there are some lessons we have to learn inside of ourselves spiritually. We're not ready for some of the bigger manifestations, and that took me a while, maybe a year or two, for me to get the manifestations that I wanted through my business on YouTube, and actually have success through that. And it just takes time sometimes. That's the flaw. That's the thing that nobody talks about, that it just takes time. Now, don't be disheartened, because if you get disheartened and you create this negative manifestation inside of yourself, you will get an instant, sometimes, probably not yet if you're not there yet, but the more, let's say, for lack of a better word, powerful, the more deeply entrenched in your feeling sense of your body rather than your mind, the more quickly you manifest things. Yeah, that's true. I'm not lying if I say that. That is true in my experience. Now, don't be disheartened if the manifestations aren't coming. Know that your manifestations are definitely on their way, but it might take some time. Because if you do get disheartened, like I did yesterday, and I'm going to show you a very funny photo. I got very disheartened yesterday because a yoga class I was teaching didn't go the way I wanted it to. And, you know, I was speaking about these things. I'm sure if you're an empath, you know, you have, let's call it, a nervous system that's sensitive enough to pick up on other people's feelings. And I was doing that through the session, and people weren't ready to accept their feelings. They denied those feelings inside of themselves, and it made for a very awkward class because they were like, how do you know what I'm feeling inside? Oh my God. And it scared the life out of them, and I get it, and I have to learn something from that. But I was judging myself for that. I was judging myself for feeling into people's energies and feeling into the pain inside of them, the unconscious pain inside of them, and bringing it up. That was my mistake, and I've learned from that. Don't bring it up to people because it's just not worth it. Especially not if it's like you're trying to show off, because then it's, you know, ugly. Yeah. But I did bring it up, and I was mentioning it, and I left the class, and I was just like, I shouldn't have done that. And I judged myself the whole day for it. Horrible. I put myself into this horrible state. So then I went to teach another yoga class today, and basically nobody turned up. I think they were too scared. One person turned up. We just had a nice one-to-one. It was great. But then I went home and felt really insecure, and I'm like, oh God, like I can't be who I really am. I can't pick up on other people's energies and mention it to them, you know? Of course you can, just be careful when you do it. But that negative state of being that I was creating for myself, constantly judging myself, oh, I can't be the way that I am, or blah, 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 you know, that negative ego in the head saying all of these things created a negative feeling, and I'm like, oh, well, what if I'm not good enough for these people? And then this photo, which I'm going to show you now, happened. I parked my car, and because I'd been so negative that whole day, and I'd been really grinding myself down and hurting myself, I forgot to put my handbrake on, and there was a negative manifestation. My car rolled out backwards into the road, into the fence next door. It didn't actually touch their fence. I got very lucky. Thanks to the protection of, you know, whatever, life, I don't know. Maybe that life protected me in that moment. But there were cars honking, everyone thinking, what on earth is this lunatic doing reversing up the drive? Oh, holy hell, there's no driver, oh my God. So I had to run out with no shoes, no socks on. It's so embarrassing. But the reason it happened, from my perspective, you can disagree with me and that's fine, but the reason that happened was because I was creating such a negative state inside of myself, and therefore we had this negative manifestation almost instantly. So, I know this seems like a lot of rambling, but everything is so key that I'm mentioning here. The law of attraction is just that. You know, the law of attraction doesn't work like that. Whoever told you that lied. It's not to say Abraham Hicks is lying, she's not. She does it in a very nice way, you can tell. Like, she knows what you want from it, but she also skirts around the issues in a feeling sense, just to make you feel okay that your manifestation isn't there yet. But she doesn't come out and say that the law of attraction doesn't work, because it does work, you know, it really does work. It really works, this is the thing, but sometimes it takes time. And if you're not employing the spiritual aspects behind it, don't bother trying, because if you're a bad person, bad terminology there, but we'll just take it. If you're a nasty person and you do things that aren't right, you know, and that aren't in line with the spiritual aspect in you, you won't manifest these great things, especially not in this time. Maybe times gone by you might have done, because I can't say, for example, you know, there's a lot of control and manipulation going around the world right now, but and they're making lots of money out of it, and that's like, you know, but for good clean manifestation you have to have this spiritual aspect. You know, for good clean spiritual manifestations you have to have this spiritual aspect. Otherwise it's going to eat you up if you're sensitive inside. You'll feel like you're robbing people of money, for example. So for good clean law of attraction manifesting, we need the spiritual aspect to it. That's the one flaw of attraction that people don't necessarily teach you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any comments, comment down below. Please give it a like, because it helps me out. It lets me know I'm talking about the right things. Also helps the YouTube algorithm, helps these videos show to people that might need it, might want it, might need a little bit of support on the journey. And speaking of support on the journey, if you wish, down below there's a free community, a free support network for you to come into. You're more than welcome to join us. It's a private Facebook group. It's free. I'll never charge you for it. For people that are going through an awakening experience, people are talking in there, people are helping each other out, and it's beautiful. It's a lovely thing to be a part of. So if you wish to do that and join us, it's down below. It's free. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.